Today on Public Eye News, Toyota is recalling a number of models due to faulty Takata airbags, and later Homeland Secretary Mayorkas is being targeted for House Republicans for impeachment.
Austin Graham will have your sports update, and Bianca Kroll will have your weather forecast. I'm Kieran Healy.
And I'm Reed Hall, and this is Public Eye News. An urgent warning has been issued by Toyota and General Motors Monday for the owners of nearly 61,000 older Corolla, Matrix, RAV4, and Pontiac 5 models. The warning is due to the risk of their Takata airbag inflators exploding and hurling shrapnel. Takata used volatile amounts of ammonium nitrate to create a small explosion for inflation, but the chemical is known to deteriorate over time due to high temperatures and humidity. The recalled RAV4s have driver's side Takata airbags, while the Corolla and Matrix models have them on the passenger side. At least 26 people have been killed by Takata inflators in the U.S. since 2009, and at least 30 people have been killed worldwide. If you are unsure your car is affected, please visit nhtsa.gov/recalls and enter your 17-digit vehicle ID number. If your car is affected, please contact your local dealer for other repair options instead of driving your car in. And a 48-year-old Michigan man was charged Sunday by federal prosecutors for threats he made on X, formerly known as Twitter. In a series of messages posted by Russell Douglas Warren of Prudentville, he threatened to hang both President Biden and Vice President Harris, as well as threatened to bomb Washington, D.C. Warren, in a separate post, allegedly said that FBI headquarters would be bombed and all FBI employees would be killed, finishing his post with the words, "shoot to kill." Experts on extremism have warned that the threat of politically motivated violence will only intensify as the 2024 presidential campaign heats up. Experts also say conspiracy theories have flooded American culture and continue to spread in popularity. Warren's federal community defender, Brian Scherer, was contacted Monday afternoon, but is yet to return any messages.
In Ohio, implementing execution by nitrogen gas could soon be underway. The state's Republican Attorney General Dave Yost supports the legislation which would give the inmates the choice between lethal injection and nitrogen gas. The bill states that nitrogen gas will be used if lethal injection is not available, since Ohio has had issues with having a supply of lethal injection chemicals in the past. According to Yost, nitrogen gas is more accessible and would be easier for Ohio to supply. On the other hand, bills have been introduced into the Ohio legislature this session to abolish the death penalty. Just last week, Alabama was the first state in the nation to use nitrogen gas in an execution. The last execution in Ohio was in 2018, and the state has since been in an unofficial moratorium on lethal injections. $100,000 will be awarded to the Upper Peninsula as part of Michigan DNR's Deer Habitat Improvement Partnership Initiative for 2024. Individual grants awarded will range from $2,000 to $15,000, according to the grants administrator, Bill Scullin. Scullin claims the goal is to improve deer habitats as well as connect landowners and conservation partners. Almost every county in the Upper Peninsula has habitats that have benefited from this initiative. The program is in its 16th year, and applications for this cycle are due by Monday, March 18th. The DNR will contact the winning applicants on April 5th. Information for applying can be found at michigan.gov/DNR grants. Our unseasonably warm weather may throw nature a bit off schedule for those looking to collect sap from sugar maples. WCCO's Jeff Wagner explains what this might mean for maple syrup enthusiasts.
Sunshine and blue skies can breathe life into the dead of winter, but it's the warmth in particular that's doing most of the work.
These warmer, unseasonal swings in temperature that we're experiencing are going to be the biggest trigger for waking up some of our trees from their winter dormancy.
Brandon Miller is a horticulture professor. He says the spring-like temps could lead some trees to start budding weeks earlier than expected, which is fine so long as the above-average warmth holds steady.
If we get low temperatures, if we drop back down into what we would normally expect for this season, or for this time of year rather, after trees have started to wake up, you might see some damage to the trees.
As trees warm and wake up, sap rises inside. That's why March is often maple syrup season, but this year it could be February.
If you see a long-range forecast that's warm, I'd be out there tapping those trees and making a little syrup.
Peter Roth has been farming the sugary breakfast staple in Wisconsin for decades and says not to be surprised if the time to tap maple trees is also shorter than usual.
But in the woods, there's not much frost. the trees will warm up a little quicker that way. It won't prolong the season where a little frost helps prolong it, keeps the snow base.
Most trees, like the Minnesotans strolling among them, are hardy. They can handle an unusually warm winter here and there. A pattern of seasons like this one, however, would be concerning.
If this becomes a routine trend, then I think that could be a problem.
Jeff Wagner, WCCO News.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break.
The president's intent was to stay in power at all costs.
This election was stolen
I
from
flat out said, I swore an oath. I'm not going to break it. I'm not putting on no stinking circus.
They put their faith in Donald Trump, and he deceived them.
I don't think by any large stretch can you characterize it as bipartisan.
The Select Committee laid the path down for the Department of Justice.
Donald Trump is going to be the defendant and the candidate. It's hard to imagine how it's going to play out.
Premieres Tuesday, January 30th, 9, 8 Central, only on PBS.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Bianca Kroll, and here's our weather forecast for today. Looking at the roof cam here, it's looking like the snow is melting out there, and we are seeing some grass, so we are warming up in these temperatures in January. And looking at the map ahead here, in Houghton it is 35 and foggy, and in Ironwood it is 33 and cloudy, in Iron Mountain 36 and cloudy, and Menominee 37 and cloudy. And moving over to the other side of the UP over here, in Escanaba, it is 37 and cloudy. In Manistique, 38 and cloudy. In Sault Ste. Marie, 34 and foggy. And in Marquette here, 35 and snowy. And looking ahead here, the winds are north-northwest, 13 miles per hour, with the barometric pressure 29.94 inches and rising. And looking at tonight's temperature is going to be cloudy with a low of 30, and the winds west-southwest, 9 miles per hour. And looking at tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 46 and a low of 34, with winds west-southwest, 10 miles per hour. And looking ahead here, Thursday it's going to be a high of 36, cloudy with a low of 27. Friday a high of 36, partly cloudy and a low of 28. And Saturday a high of 38, partly cloudy and a low of 30. That's all for the weather forecast. Now back to the desk for more news.
Thank you, Bianca, for that weather update. Definitely some above average temperatures for the end of January. And now taking a look out in Washington, D.C., House Republicans are moving forward in their process of impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. A key vote is expected to come today that could send the articles of impeachment to the full House for a vote as soon as next week. The charges state that the Mayorkas willfully and systematically refused to comply with and enforce federal immigration laws. This, a rare charge against a cabinet official, unseen in nearly 150 years. This comes as Republicans continue to take a hardline immigration approach, idolized by GOP presidential frontrunner Donald Trump. Mayorkas, unable to testify for himself, did write a pointed letter to the panel's chairman to defend himself. Democrats, on the other hand, have been vocal in their disapproval, calling the proceedings both a stunt and a sham, with Representative Bernie Thompson going as far as saying it's a MAGA-led impeachment. If the House does agree to impeach Mayorkas, the charges would go next to the Senate for trial. And in Pakistan, former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for revealing official secrets. Supporters of Khan say his slew of legal cases are meant to sideline the imprisoned politician just days before Pakistan's February 8th election. Khan's current conviction stems from the popularly known Cypher case, in which he exposed state secrets by waving a confidential document at a rally. Khan, ousted by a no-confidence vote in 2022, is not on the ballot because of a 3-year sentence he's already serving, in addition to 150 other pending cases against him. Other charges against Khan include contempt of court, to terrorism, and inciting violence. This year's election comes at a sensitive time for the nation, which has been battered by an economic crisis that Khan's successor, Shehbaz Sharif, struggled to get under control. Sharif was only able to obtain a bailout from the International Monetary Fund by agreeing to substantial increases in tariffs on gas and electricity, which made his party unpopular. And French farmers are revolting against the government due to new regulations imposed upon them. Protesters have now begun to spread to other European countries as well. CBS's correspondent Ian Lee has more. Take a look.
French farmers say this is their last straw. Across the country, they're burning tires, spraying government buildings with manure, and shutting down the roads to Paris. He says farmers can't take it anymore. We're out of cash and we have too many regulations. Thousands of farmers are feeling the squeeze after the French government announced plans to cut subsidies. Farming is heavily regulated in France, which makes it expensive, and the country imports cheap food, pricing out local farmers, sowing quite the mess. These protesters attacked a truck carrying foreign peppers.
On est tous des fils de paysans.
This man says we're all descendants of farmers and must mobilize to secure a better living. Anger is growing across the borders too, with furious farmers in Belgium, Italy, and Germany also taking to their tractors, plowing in protest, hoping to cultivate change. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
After this short break, we'll be back with your sports report. You won't want to miss it.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's insane.
On Finding Your Roots, Eliza Schlesinger.
I always thought I had a very small family that almost came out of nowhere.
And Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, I wish my mom could hear this.
An ancestor's courage.
She left her whole family.
She paid for her own ticket.
I'm emotional.
And a royal affair.
Duke of Plune.
She was the Duke's mistress.
Oh, that is crazy.
Tuesday night at 8.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Austin Graham, and this is Public Eye Sports. Starting things off with the NFL, Super Bowl tickets have gone on sale, and they are the most expensive in the game's history. The average starting ticket price was over $9,000 on Monday, almost doubling the average price of last year's Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs. The lowest price on StubHub for the tilt between the San Francisco 49ers and defending champions Kansas City is a whopping $6,500. Ticket sales on StubHub are 90% higher than last year's and are 147% greater than the Super Bowl 54 matchup between the Niners and the Chiefs. The game is set for Sunday, February 11th at 6:30 with the Niners as 2.5-point favorites. Bouncing things over to college hoops, the Michigan men's team heads into enemy territory tonight to take on Michigan State. Heading into this game, the Wolverines have a 2-7 Big Ten Conference record and are currently on a 3-game road skid. The Spartans, on the other hand, boast a 10-2 home record and are currently 4-5 in the Big Ten. In their last 10 games, Michigan State are 7-3, averaging 77.5 points per game, and their opponents have averaged 67.3 points per game. The Wolverines are 2-8, averaging 75.2 points per game, and their opponents have averaged 81.5 points per game. This will be the first time these two teams meet this season, with tip-off set for 9 p.m. Circling things back to the NFL, Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has informed other teams around the league that he is staying in Detroit. Heading into the offseason, Johnson was considered to be a front-running candidate for a head coaching position and was scheduled to meet with the Seahawks and Commanders, who have opening jobs for their head coaching positions. This is the second year in a row that he's going to turn down head coaching opportunities to return to the Motor City. If the Lions offense keeps working its magic heading into next year, Johnson will most likely be a highly pursued candidate for a head coaching job once more. Keeping him in Detroit will provide Dan Campbell with some relief, as he won't have to worry about looking for a replacement for one of the best OCs in the NFL. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk. Thank you, Austin, for that sports update. Big game tonight, Michigan State. Who do you got?
I'm more of a Michigan fan myself. How about you?
Definitely a Michigan fan as well.
All the way.
I heard we have a couple more stories for today.
I do, yes. Eisenhower Dance Detroit will be performing at the Forrest Roberts Theater at Northern Michigan University. Performances will be at 7:30 p.m. on February 8th and 9th. For NMU students with 4 years of dance experience, a masterclass will be available by registration. Tickets for the performances can be found at nmu.universitytickets.com. And Ferry Bluff Eagle Council's 38th annual Bald Eagle Watching Day is happening on February 10th in Sauk Prairie, Wisconsin. The winter migration of the eagles is celebrated in a safe and organized manner, as the eagles can easily be scared by humans. The event is free and open to the public from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with the best times for watching being early morning and before dusk.
And that appears to be all the time we have today on Public Eye News. I'm Reed Hall.
I'm Kieran Healy.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.